Hello and welcome back to What the Frick podcast. I actually started this series about a year or so ago and I never followed through with it. So I'm going to try and be better this year, but I'm a huge TV watcher, movie watcher. I studied film and television in college and I want to start tracking things I watch every month and kind of give little reviews on them. And just a disclaimer here that this does not mean that this show or movie came out in this particular month. It just means that this is the time where I actually watch. So you'll see that I'm talking about things that may have come out in November or December, but I just now have gotten around to it in January. So I'm going to just talk about some of the things that have stood out to me this month. Starting with Emily in Paris, first of all, this show needs to end. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's such a guilty pleasure watch. And did I enjoy the season? Absolutely. But I'm just like, how are they still making these? And I saw there's another season coming out, so I'm like, is this girl, like, we all know she's gonna end up with the one guy from season one. She can date as many guys as she wants from as many countries as she wants, but at the end of the day, we all know she's going to end up engaged to the chef. However, it's an amazing show. I love the quirkiness. I love how unrealistic the marketing department is. I love everything about it. I love seeing them in these different countries, and for that, will I continue to watch it? Absolutely. All right, we got to talk about heated rivalry. Again, this did not come out in January, but this took me a minute to get into. I will say, when I pressed play, I watched the first 10 minutes and I was bored. And I was like, I don't understand why people like this show. It seemed like it was just very sexual. I was like, I'm not really seeing the hype about it, and I turned it off. And then I was like, frick, like the whole internet is into this. Like, I'm going to try again. And so I did. And again, I was like flabbergasted by like how they are showing these very sexual scenes, but again, it's on HBO, so I'm like, okay. And it didn't really work for me until I think episode 3 or 4, when they introduced the other couple, the hockey player and the smoothie guy. And that's where I really was like putting my phone down and I was like, I'm locked in. And I was like, okay, now I'm like curious. And the show is such a like slope for me, because once you hit those middle episodes, it really just only goes up from there in terms of like the quality of the storytelling and like seeing the couples fall in love and seeing them try and navigate like being gay and coming out is so interesting, especially when you add the whole sports aspect to it. And again, it's just, I think people are asking like why women are so attracted to this show. It's like has nothing to do with us, but like I have a lot of friends that are gay. I've always been supportive of them and just everything that has to do with them and their rights. And I think it's just like a huge thing that women support. Like, women love a good love story. We love a good rom-com. We love love. And whether it's two girls, a heterosexual couple, or two gay men, like, we are going to root for that. And the way they portray this like relationship over years and years of time is just so interesting, and you just can't help but draw you in. So it's a good watch. I will say it took me a hot minute to get into, but once I was into it, I was like, yep, this is the only thing I'll be watching. And it was only 6 episodes, which I was like, this is kind of insane, but very curious to see how the next season will go for this. All right, next up we have The Long Walk, which again, this came out months ago, but I did not see it in theaters and I just watched it this month. And this is that Stephen King based book where essentially it's like very dystopian. These boys are walking and you're not allowed to stop walking. And if you do stop walking, you'll be killed. Like, the last one standing wins a bunch of money and like a prize and stuff. So, and they know that going into the walk. They're not like confused about it. So I wanted to see this for forever, and I loved the idea that when they were marketing it, you could like go to a movie theater and walk on a treadmill with them while you were watching it. I thought that was brilliant. But that was not going on where I live, so I did not do it. But the movie itself, I thought, was very well done. Thinking about the budget aspect of it, it was probably so low. They probably shot this in, of course, like Atlanta or something. And it's quite literally just people walking on a road. You need like some lights, which they put on the cars anyway that are following the guys because they have to walk during the night. So it's like not weird that they're showing these bright lights on these guys. It's like that's how it would be in the movie anyway. And you just hire like a squad of male actors. And it's a huge, again, like storytelling piece because like literally the whole movie they're just walking and they're just like talking to each other. And then every now and then someone will like phase out and get killed. But there's nothing really happening. You're just learning more about the characters. There's like some flashback scenes. But other than that, it's just these guys walking. And to hear that the actual actors were walking around like 8 miles a day, I also felt was very interesting. But it's a really cool movie, and I love a good like dystopian thriller. The ending was quite interesting. I won't give it away, but I actually really liked the ending. And I mean, anything by Stephen King is always going to be very, very unique. So a good rating for The Long Walk if you have not seen it yet. Moving on to another interesting movie which came out around Halloween that I am just now getting to. Dave Franco and Alison Brie in the horror movie together. This was so weird and creepy. And honestly, I don't even consider it like a horror movie. Like it's under that category, but like I was never like scared. I was more so just like creeped out. And again, this is like another very cool idea about codependency in relationships. And the fact that these actors are married in real life really, I think, adds a whole nother level to it. But essentially just showcasing how couples can be so dependent on each other that it becomes like toxic and bad. And they just add like a horror aspect to it that you don't always see, of course, in a normal person life. But seeing how these two people essentially start to morph, their bodies are so drawn to each other that they almost want to become a single person is like insane. And the actors themselves commented saying that it would have been a really hard movie to do with someone that they were unfamiliar with, but doing with their actual partner, their actual spouse, was one, very fun and special, but two, like there were just certain scenes where it would have been a lot more difficult had they not had that comfortability factor. So again, a very cool movie. I do highly recommend it. And I mean, I'm a huge fan of Alison Brie. I think she's like so funny. She can like really play any role, but also like I love them together. So big shout out there. We got 2 more on the list, people. Hang in there. People We Meet on Vacation. Finally watched this. I was waiting for a night where I actually had time to like fully enjoy it, and I was blown away. Rom-coms are back, baby. And for one, I was staring at the guy being like, he's so hot, just to realize he is the guy from the Hunger Games who plays the young President Snow. I'm like, that man can pull off any hair color because he looked amazing. It was just such a cute movie. I had no idea what it was about. I never watched the trailer. I knew it was a book. In my head, I was like, oh, they're going to meet on vacation and then like fall in love. But it was actually like the total opposite, which I loved the concept that they're like lifelong, or not lifelong, but they're friends and they go on vacations and they meet these people that essentially like affect their viewpoints and opinions and how they see the world and how they see each other. And just seeing that is so cool, especially as someone that loves to travel. But I thought it was such a cute little movie, and I'm glad I watched it. I think the acting was really spot on, and who they casted for it. And it's nice to see stuff like this. I feel like people are always saying that they just like don't make movies how they used to. And for example, like 27 Dresses, Bride Wars, like How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. Like you just don't see rom-coms like that anymore. And like I feel like this kind of was starting to fall back into that category. So big shout out there. Last but not least, I'm going to talk about Tell Me Lies, and this is an ongoing show. It's obviously, I think we're like 4 episodes deep now. It's still going on. It's just, it's incredible. It's iconic. It is the moment. And the other night when I was watching it, I felt anxiety. I felt like I was one of their friends, like living in the moment with them. And that was kind of scary because I was sitting on my couch like, why is my heart racing? But again, the acting is very spot on. I love the twists with like intermixing the wedding. Stephen DeMarco is just, I mean, every time he's on my screen, I want to run, but also I'm like, get him back on my screen. I want to see what crazy fricked up thing he does next. And this man does not disappoint. Like, you got to give him points for his cleverness and just how he can clock something so quickly and then find a way to like spin it for himself. Like, it's truly a masterclass, and we have to give him props for that. But again, like, I don't think this is the last season. They haven't said it's the last season. They're probably going to try to like milk this show forever, but like hopefully they're careful about it. It's one of those shows where if you like make it go on for too long, it's going to lose its credibility and its like wow factor. But so far, like, the first 2 seasons I thought were insane, but like this season is like almost topping the first 2, which is hard to do considering what's happened without like giving away spoilers or anything. But like, I think we finally know these characters very well and how they think and act. So seeing them now in this 3rd season, it's just like, it's bravo. And when it's out, it's out. And I was actually a little stressed out when it first dropped because they dropped like 3 episodes at once, and I was also trying to like balance that show, Traders, Beast Games, which I'll eventually talk about. But I'm just like, there was so much going on. I was like, I don't have time for this. Like, I have so many jobs, I have so many things going on. But a masterclass show, and it like, if you are in a relationship, great. I'm not in one right now, but I'm still feeling the stress of what it would be like to be dating all of these characters. And it's like, obviously the main character that has the most issues is Steven and Lucy, but every side character also has their own set of like toxic issues that they're doing. Whether it's like the fact that Pippa is like cheating on Wrigley with Diana, Bree with the married guy, and she's like doing all this stuff. It's like every character has something that they've done wrong. And like, to just talk about Evan for a second, this man is just such an idiot. Like, why are you telling Steven anything? He comes off as such a good guy, but then to like go around telling everyone that Diana's pregnant, like, that's awful. Just awful. They're all horrible in their own way, and they all try to like find ways to make up for it, but like, I don't know. It's an amazing show, and I can't wait to see what they give us on Monday when it comes out. So anyway, that is my January recap in terms of TV shows and movies. I will continue to talk about things as they come out in the month of February, so be on the lookout for that. But for now, I hope you guys enjoyed this little cinematic episode. So with that, I will see you next time. Bye.